All right, so I got excited for another video. Hi, whoever's video previously, I was discussing Marcus Aurelius' saying the universe is change, but life is opinion. And at the end of it, I was like, so any opinion we have on life is basically a judgment of our own reality. And that kicked in, like, and my head went into overdrive. And again, like it's like the Lego sets when they're falling down, and you know where you want to place everything, so you kind of like do it before you kind of like lose that thought, and that's what's happening right now. Opinion on life is a judgment on our own reality, right? So if I have an opinion on anything within my view, then I think that's what people say when they're projecting. But why do we explain it in a projecting kind of way? It's like, I don't like this. Why do we say it from a projecting perspective? Why were we not able to explain that since your own point of view, again, like your own point of view is literally your own center, because you are the center of your own universe. Everything starts from your eyes outwards, right? You're the center of your own universe. So your point of view is literally from where you stand in the universe, which means everything in front of you is only, you're the only person that can see it from that angle. And any opinion you have on it is literally an opinion on your judgment of your reality. Because, like, whatever you look at, whatever you experience every day, throughout your life, is basically your reality translated from yourself. Because you're the one who's seeing it, you're the one who's experiencing it, so it's your reality. And so, any opinion I have on anything in my reality is a judgment on how I actually perceive it. Now that I say it this way, man, it makes me realize how harsh I can be on myself when I look at something and I go like, I don't like it. What do I really mean? I would rather it not be within my field of vision. Then effectively, what am I doing? I'm telling myself, or I'm telling my mind or my brain to kind of omit these kinds of things from my reality. Imagine how much narrower our scope, our view would become just because we're shaving off truths from within our reality in order to cater to a certain kind of like perspective that's not even close to any truth. It's not close to any shared truth. Imagine how much we actually go through and suffer just from making these kind of like, I want to say, instinctive judgments, or sometimes even biased, because most of the time it's not us that's making the decisions. It's we heard somebody randomly do it, say it. I was reading the other day, some random chick, a movie star, went and she decided to become a man. And the same year, about like 120, 140 just children decided to do the same thing just because they adored her. Right? So you can only imagine most of the times, like, I don't know, maybe that's their thing, I don't know, but like there's a high chance that we're incentivized by a lot of our surroundings, man. Most of research, most of like fucked up shit, most of psychology shows that human nature is very much emotionally unbalanced. And anything influences us, and if we're lucky, we're surrounded by good people. Most of the time, even when people are actually good, they don't know how to act good, they don't know how to be good. So when the time comes for them to express, or for you to actually engage or figure out what the fuck's going on, what effectively you get is just a version of yourself that's not really honest and truthful to what you yourself are. And imagine how that would reflect on reality. Imagine how your reality would start reflecting on others. Imagine how long it would take before you realize you're not the kind of person that you thought you were. And I'm naturally, this conversation, I'm reflecting on myself purely. Because a few things happened in Lebanon, but it took me 15 years, or 20 even, to actually and truthfully look back and go like, I don't see this person existing in the future. Imagine how fucked up my reality has become. In order for me to look at it and be like, I do not see this person existing in the future, because this reality is literally just only looking at, and again, shit is beautiful. The world, everything is beautiful. But if that's the only thing we look at, then we're judging everything else. And instead of actually appreciating beauty, we start judging everything as beautiful or not. That's us being harsh towards ourselves. Because naturally, when I look at something and we see it as ugly, it's because a part of us kind of feels that way. A part of us looks that way, maybe even. We're looking at something and thinking about it in a way that's not really in accordance to how we prefer. That means we're creating something that's not truthful within our reality, and our mind will follow suit. It would do whatever we want, but eventually it will run out of shit to do because the world does not really harmonize with you anymore. Why is this happening? I don't get it. Well, because you were a cunt. Because you chose not to look at these things, and this issue started repeating itself, and eventually things started collapsing or whatever. A big part of this kind of sadness is our lack of trust in ourselves, or just our lack of. I think that's what Carl Jung talks about as dealing with the shadow, engaging in shadow work. And imagine if the actual truths of the world, the one true truth that everyone kind of seems to agree with, is everything is always changing. Like no man enters the same river twice. It's not the same river. He's not the same man. No day is the same as the day before. You can repeat the same day. When the historians would say history doesn't repeat itself, but it really does rhyme. Like, we do the same things in different ways and in different styles and all that shit. Like nothing kind of like allows itself to exist in the same way more than once. And that's, I think, the whole uniqueness of existence. And imagine, instead of like just looking at uniqueness the way it is, we apply our own opinion on through our own reality onto it. Imagine how biased we become, how unfair we are to ourselves. I repeat, we are unfair to ourselves when we do this because we're not allowing anything to do well. We're not allowing anything to be itself and to express itself properly. Even when they do, we can't see it anymore. When you look at something, you go like, I don't like it. That's it. That's it. Anything beyond that point, there's no point because whatever you don't like is slowly going to kind of like fade from your existence. You won't notice it. And it's horrible because sometimes these are the things that grow into the most beautiful of concepts, I guess. These are the things that grow into the most beautiful of experiences. These are the things that expose us to parts of ourselves that we don't really understand or we never got the chance to understand. That's the truth behind our reality that we really end up hiding. And ultimately, anytime we have an opinion about anything beyond ourselves, is us passing judgment onto our own version of reality. Because our version of reality is what's seeing it the way it is, the way we see it. If we're seeing something as beautiful, our version of reality is looking at it as beautiful. It's still a judgment. If we're seeing it as like ugly, skewed, useless, whatever, our version of reality is looking at it in that way. Can only imagine, man. Nothing goes to waste in nature because whatever is fodder, whatever is like firewood for us is food for plants, is life for other insects, and is a home for different kind of like creatures and like mycelia and shit like this. Nothing goes to waste. And what we do is instead of like understanding all angles of our reality, we kind of like reject some of it by having an opinion. It's good to have an opinion, man, but it's good to have an opinion about why you see things a certain kind of way, not about the things themselves. Ultimately, the best opinion you have is on your version of reality. Because then, at the very least, you could actually look at how that version changes over time. And you'll be able to engage with yourself differently simply because instead of judging things within your reality, you're looking at how your reality is judging them. And from there, you kind of already established a difference between you and them. And you actually have some object to discuss, something that's shared by you and yourself. And your reality is basically what expresses yourself or what expresses you. We'll have to come up with that at one point. But overall, the universe has changed, man. Life is an opinion. Bye.